Gather round, gang. You're ganking my steez. Oh, Skate 3. What was once ostensibly just a simple game about skateboarding, slightly more grounded in reality than the Tony Hawk franchise, has become something of a legend. I remember the days of Skate 3, which might have genuinely been one of the best games of its generation. I remember the sudden and weird death of the studio afterward, and I remember the clamor, the harangue of the fan base to have another Skate made. Everybody wanted more. More Skate. More silly, goofy skateboarding game for us to sink our greedy little teeth into. I was there. I was with everybody else, rioting in the streets, throwing rocks at cops, and stealing televisions from Walmart. I remember it all. And I also remember this tweet. We had done it. For once, the consumer was God. We willed something into existence purely through the power of whining. That was years ago now. Trends have come and gone, and besides one little pre-alpha leak, which I did play, the next Skate was eerily silent. Until now, anyway. And looking back on those times of anticipation, maybe it should have stayed that way. Now, personally, I'm not a skateboarder. The one time I tried to do it, I ordered a board online. It arrived on a day of great gastrointestinal distress, so when I tried to do a single ollie in my garage, I slipped, concussed myself on the concrete, and promptly shit my pants. I never touched that skateboard again. It's still down there in that garage somewhere, silently mocking me, knowing what I did. But I do love Skate 3. It's one of those games that I still go back to every once in a while just to goof around and have a bit of fun. When a sequel was announced many moons ago, I was skeptical, but hopeful. I've since learned that hopefulness and naivete are all too often synonyms. Skate is a free-to-play, massive multiplayer loot box 'em up skateboarding game developed and published by our new Saudi Arabian overlords. God, please have mercy. It is a sequel to Skate 3 in the same sense that the Iraq War was a sequel to American imperialism. It's less of a sequel and more of a consequence. The world of Skate takes place in a magical alternate reality to our own where skateboarding has taken the world by storm like it did in the 90s and then never died out. In fact, it seems to have become the primary mode of transportation for pretty much everybody. In the city of Sandvansterdam, the entire infrastructure has been built for skaters by skaters. The world of Skate is one in which every corner of the map is designed with the intention of you doing a cool trick on it. The implications that this would have on anybody trying to drive to work or just go out for a walk be damned. I'm not a city planner by any means, but something tells me that the day-to-day life for anybody who actually has a job in this town might not be a pleasant one. Imagine you're just trying to drive your kids to school and 30 douchebags on skateboards think the roof rack on your Grand Cherokee looks like a primo spot for a sick grind. You can't sit on a bench in this city because every single one of them is covered in wax, and date nights are constantly ruined by the dozens of people trying to do an ollie over your dining table. I mean, just look at this staircase. The wheelchair ramp has fucking rails on it, thereby making it completely useless to anybody in, you know, a wheelchair? If you've played Skate 3 before, you'll probably have a clear understanding of how to play this one. You ride a skateboard and do cool little tricks, and sometimes you land them. There's really not that much more to it. What the Skate franchise has always excelled at is the feeling of realism. Not real realism, mind you. Skate being realistic would have horrible implications for the mortality rate in this world, but that sorta, kinda, almost realism that makes you think, yeah, I could do this if I had a skateboard and actually went outside. Obviously, you can't. But Skate 3 made you feel like you could. And that was the beauty of it. Littered around the world of Skate are various challenges for the player to complete. These challenges range from piss easy to actually broken and not completable. I say range there, but really those are the only two options. Challenges consist of line challenges, where you must attempt to complete a certain number of goals within a specific line set forth by the game, session challenges, where there is no line, just a general area and a time limit, and stunt challenges. Stunt challenges are reminiscent of the old Hall of Meat challenges from Skate 3, but like if you removed all the fun part. And that's it. There's no death races, no competition challenges, no photo ops, you know, all the good challenges from the previous game. But what has Skate added from its predecessor? Well, I guess there's a parkour system, which really just means that you can climb buildings now. Well, some buildings. Sometimes. That's about it. This game is ugly. There's no beating around the bush on that. How a game that was announced in 2020 and released in 2025 can look worse than the previous game, which released in 2010, an entire 15 years ago and 2 console generations prior, beats me. Just look at this skybox. It's hideous. A lot of people have complained about the new art style, and while yes, it's very ugly, it's not where my criticisms are centered. Skateboarding culture is such a vast and lively little thing. It's inexorably linked to punk, street, and pop cultures. It is so well defined and niche that it would be the easiest thing in the world to replicate, or at least you would think. The world of skate is so gray and boring. Any sense of personality the game might have had was long scrubbed away and sanitized, and it shows in the very environment itself. Compare this to Skate 3, a game that came out in a generation known for its gray and brown environments. Skate 3 wasn't exactly the most vibrant looking game, don't get me wrong, but it was miles above this weird concrete hellscape that exists now. I think a lot of that comes down to the amount of variety within the map itself, which is to say there is none. Skate 3 had this in droves. You had the industrial park areas rife with pure street skating, the massive construction zone, the university area, the super ultra mega park, and all of them were fun to explore and skate through. In comparison, the new game is just some city. Sure, there's a few skate parks and some big ramps for you to do tricks on, but it's nowhere near that same level. Skateboarding in one area of the city feels like doing it in any other area, so why travel at all? To talk about the new art style a bit, I am reminded of that shitty new trend in logo design. You know the one, where every bit of personality and character needs to be smoothed over until it means nothing and says nothing. Everything must be plain and boring, because if we make our product bland and boring looking, we can appeal to 83% of consumers instead of 82%. It's a move of pure, undiluted cowardice, and I don't stand for it. You Fortnited my skateboarding game, and I won't forgive you. I said once that I miss the days of soundtracks consisting of, for lack of a better term, real-life songs. You know, how they played Avril Lavigne in Burnout. Skate actually makes a return to tradition here, and for that, I am happy. It is unfortunate, though, that there's not a single song in the soundtrack that I care for. Scratch that. There's one song in the soundtrack I like, and that's by Sunny Day Real Estate, so kudos, I suppose. One downside to this was it made finding background music for this video a lot harder, but I make do. One part I do actually like and commend the developers for is the system for finding new songs to put in your playlist. You have the ability to grab songs playing in the environment through radios or whatever else, kind of like a collectible. You know what? That was a cool idea. I'm genuinely surprised that it wasn't scrapped. In general, I think the developers of this game should be cast into the streets for a good old-fashioned shame ritual, but whoever came up with that mechanic can stay. Voice acting in skateboarding games has never been great, but I've always been happy to excuse that, considering that a lot of the time, the voice actors used were not, in fact, voice actors, but, you know, skateboarders. I don't expect Tony Hawk to be good at voice acting. The dude was too busy at the time pulling 900s and I assume getting a lot of brain damage in the process. Did you know that Tony Hawk had, at least at one point, an IQ of 144? Tony Hawk could have easily been a member of Mensa, but instead chose to slam his head into sidewalks for a living. So again, I don't expect the man to be a great voice actor. Skate 3, on the other hand, didn't use a ton of real-life skateboarders for its cast, and as a result, the voice acting was actually kind of serviceable. Not to say it was great, but it functioned. So why, on God's green earth, is the voice acting so bad in this one? Half the voice actors in this game don't even sound like they want to be there. Not that I blame them. I'm playing the damn game, and I don't want to be here either.
Are you freaking kidding me? Jabronis leaving trash lying around? Unreal.
I've marked the Slappy soul-crushing challenge for you at the House of Rolling River. Shouldn't be a problem for a scoring master like yourself.
Whoa, you might need an umbrella.
Here comes the fun part, where I talk bad about something that I assume at least a few developers actually did care about and worked hard on. To those few who did, just know that I don't blame you. I have a feeling that somewhere, deep in the bowels of EA headquarters, were at least a few people who really wanted to be part of the team that made the new Skate game, and to make it amazing. The fundamental flaw with Skate is that it feels like if Skate 3 were designed by committee. It's also safe in its design. I believe, and I want you to quote me on this if it turns out to be true, that this game was ruined purely by executive decision. It's not a new phenomenon in gaming by any means, but it feels so evident here that it makes me sick. I'm imagining in my head a pure-hearted developer proposing new ideas and mechanics for the game, and some corporate stooge saying something along the lines of, yes, I like this idea, but the shareholders might not, so we're gonna can it. I'm also imagining him burning in hell. Skate misses the mark entirely on what made Skate 3 so great. They tried to emulate it without knowing what it was. They flanderized it. Someone somewhere saw videos of people loving how goofy Skate 3 was and tried to recreate that. But Skate 3 wasn't great because it was goofy. It was great because it was unintentionally goofy. It was lightning in a jar, like the perfect bad movie. The problem all along was that fans wanted more Skate 3, but Skate 3 could never be done again. That was the magic of it. Trying to recreate Skate 3 would require you to make a good game and, at the same time, unintentionally creating a world of silly possibilities inside of it. Whenever I play this game and some crazy bug happens, I'm not laughing at it. I'm thinking they probably put that there on purpose. It's like AI art, in a way. You can draw a picture, and whether or not that picture is good or not, you know there was a soul behind it. There was someone, somewhere, putting those lines on paper with the intention of selling you an idea they had in their head, flaws and all. AI art may have those same lines, but the humanity behind it is gone. Without an artist, art is just lines. Am I waxing too philosophical for a game about riding around on a piece of wood with wheels on the bottom? Yes, I am. But this is something I care about. I feel like I'm slowly watching all the magic fade and get replaced by pretty colors and lights that only look like magic. There's nothing I worry about more in terms of the future than the death of art. And the worst thing, the worst part of it all, is that somewhere, deep in the heart of this game, I can see the vision. I can see a better game. The mechanics are there. There are tons of improvements and little quality of life additions that, if it were given better care and allowed to live, could have been the foundation for a true Skate 4. The community park feature is really cool. Having areas of the city dedicated to a rotating set of player-built skate parks is an awesome idea. It's just too bad that it's connected to the rest of the game. We all dreamed of a new Skate game, but those dreams are dead. The Skate franchise is dead, and art is dying. I got a little pessimistic there at the end, I know, but I do have a tiny little tidbit of relief for you. If you love Skate 3, there is a way to play more Skate 3. It's called Skate 3. It's always been here. It never left. I'm telling you now that if you boot up that old 360 that's been gathering dust in the corner of your closet and pop in your old copy of Skate 3, it still works. And if you sold that old Xbox or your disc is scratched beyond repair, guess what? Skate 3 runs great on emulator. The point is that Skate 3 was never lost to us, and we never needed anything else. It's just as good as you remember. There's still plenty of joy to be had. Whatever they might take from us, they can't take this. So, do I recommend Skate? Well, I thought about it for a bit. The game is free. You can go download it right now and experience all there is to experience without spending a single penny. If I were a rational man, I would say there's no harm in giving it a try. Just be sure not to buy anything. Mind you, if this game cost even a single penny, this would not even be in consideration. That was the original conclusion of this video. Me telling you to go ahead and give it a try if you want. But I've reconsidered. Don't even do that. If my word means anything to you, don't download this game. It's not good. And it's not even worth the tiny fraction of your life it would consume. It's not even worth your consideration. I believe we as consumers have a duty to let trash burn. Trust me, go play Skate 3. Or better yet, go learn to actually skateboard. I'm certainly not going to do that, but learning new skills is good for you. Good for the soul. And anything is better than playing Skate. Thanks for watching, gang. As always, it means the world to me. Sorry for not uploading lately. There's been a severe lack of games that I've been wanting to talk about. Combine that with good old life catching up to me, and it's getting increasingly difficult to stick to the whole monthly upload thing. I've scrapped 2 videos so far, one on the Battlefield beta and one on the Metal Gear Solid 3 remake. To summarize my opinions on those for those of you who care, Battlefield looks great, and Delta was cool, but ultimately just a prettier looking version of a game I've already played. Making videos is getting harder to to do. Not because I lack the spark, but simply because I lack the time. Believe me, I tried my best, but I'm gonna have to make a change. I'm moving these videos from a monthly deal to a whenever I get the damn time deal. You will see me again, I just can't say precisely when. Anyway, that's all for now, gang. One love. See ya.